Hi everyone, it is Fitz with your daily delivery. It's a game day daily delivery. Although Kansas State isn't involved in this game day, they're off this weekend, as is the University of Kansas. We'll get to that in a second. But there's some great Big 12 action. And it all ends with the Holy War, Utah, BYU. Man, I'll be tuned in for that. But today we're going to talk about the first forecasts for next weekend. The Sunflower Showdown, the battle for John Brown's rifle. There's other ones I've come up with that are so much better than Sunflower Showdown, but that's not today's topic. Today's topic is, who's favored? Who does Vegas think you should put your money on? First, thank you for helping us get to 17,000 subscribers. If you're not doing it yet, you need to do it. Please, it really does help creators when you just hit that subscribe button for free. Thank you. So the lines are beginning to come out for Kansas State at Kansas. Both teams really need this one. When you look at the schedule that winds up the season after this game, the loser's going to struggle to get to 6. They're going to have to win one unexpectedly if they're going to get to 6 and bowl eligible. And I know a lot of you are like, bowl eligible at 6 wins. It's really important for programs to keep that continuity going, the off-season program going, and to kind of get one last glance at the players that will for sure be back next year, because the transfer portal guys probably will sit it out. And who is favored in this game? Well, Kansas is, actually, at least according to DraftKings. The Jayhawks are currently a 2.5-point favorite. So it's KU minus 2.5. So for you non-gambling types, let me just explain real quick. If Kansas is favored by 2.5, minus 2.5, it means if you bet on Kansas State, if KU wins by 1 or 2, you still win your bet. Kansas got to win by 3 to cover that spread. But that's not the only spread out there. Another one we use, FanDuel, has Kansas State as a 3.5-point favorite. That's an odd 6-point difference between two different books, something you don't see very often. Another one, ESPN Bet, has Kansas State as a 4-point favorite, and a fifth one at the screen I'm staring at, I think it's the Vegas Insider line, I don't know if it's an actual book, has Kansas at 2.5. In other words, it's all over the place. In other words, Vegas knows about as much as I do with this game. Both teams have strengths, both teams have weaknesses. Both teams have lost games that they should win, and both teams have won games. Well, they've just won games. It's going to be very interesting. And honestly, if I had to say, I think DraftKings has it right. I think that 2.5-point spread in favor of Kansas represents the home field advantage, which I think there will be. The fans over there rightfully love the new stadium. It's got a new atmosphere, a new vibe, a whole new game day experience. And it's been good for Kansas football. But at the end of the day, it's about what happens on the field. And there will be a lot of K-Staters over there. There always are. That will be in attendance. And so it's not as big of a home field advantage as many other stadiums would have. But still, it is their home field. And this is a pretty good Kansas team coached by a really good coach. I understand why Kansas is favored. You can't get past the early appearances by Kansas State. A loss to Army, loss at Arizona. How they played in Dublin was kind of hit and miss against Iowa State. Yeah, they're sitting at 3-4. But that last loss was a 1-point loss at Baylor, which I would say is a much better team than Kansas. So again, this game is hard to forecast. And I haven't sat down and really looked at it. I have my gut instinct on this one, but I'm not going with that. I want to look at and closely examine the strengths and weaknesses of these two teams and how it all fits together. In the past, even if it was kind of a wash on offense and defense, special teams won the day for Kansas State. That was kind of the big deal 2 years ago in Lawrence when there was a scoop and score on a blocked extra point that gave K-State 2 points and a big dose of momentum. But special teams have been unreliable. So I'm going to need to dig in and watch some film and have some fun doing it, because I think these are both teams that have a really strong upside, but their flaws are pretty obvious. They honestly can't stop the run as well as they need to. The KU defense has been probably worse than the K-State defense, but the KU offense has probably been more consistent than the K-State offense. We'll have the predictions, we'll have all the coverage, we'll have all the good stuff next week at GoPowercat. But today, if you want to place your bet, you think one of these lines is really one that whet your appetite. You think so. Get on it, because as more money comes in, the lines move. That's how it works. Vegas is just trying to even out the money. So when they take their 10%, they make money no matter what. That's how they win. They always win. Who's going to win the game? I don't know. Who's going to win the Holy War? I'm going with Utah. It's going to be a great day in Big 12 football.